guys, welcome to my newest video. A lot of you guys have had questions recently in store about feeding your cat raw. And since it's Happy Healthy Cat Month, I decided that today's video should be all about feeding those frisky felines raw food. When it comes to you guys asking me questions about feeding raw, it seems to be that when it comes to cats, your question is whether or not you can do it. Now, this is a hugely complicated issue when it comes to cats. So cats, unlike dogs, aren't usually the type of creature to just gobble up all their food all in one sitting, and they don't usually do quite well when it comes to meal kind of feeding, which is what you want to do when it comes to feeding raw food. The reason being is that cats are opportunistic feeders, and generally in the wild, they feed around prey times, and they're more of a grazer than they are of a meal feeder. When it comes to feeding your cat raw, if your cat is a kibble grazer, that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll not be able to feed raw. And ultimately, you can try to transition your cat to being able to handle meal fed, and some cats will deal with this fine, others won't. How you do this is if you're going from a dry kibble to a raw food, some cats won't take to the different type of texture. So what I suggest for my clients is you can try it out going from one to the other. If that doesn't work out, you can try gradually incorporating more wet food into the cat's diet, decreasing the amount of dry, and then slowly replacing some of that wet with the raw, and sometimes that can help get your cat onto the raw diet. That being said, if your cat goes like 3 days and refuses to eat with the raw food, this isn't maybe the diet for you. Raw isn't something that you can keep out all the time. It's known to harbor bacteria and a few other things you have to be careful about, so you can't just leave it out for hours on end. So if your cat doesn't eat enough for over a 3-day period that it starts to become ill, maybe doing a raw frozen diet isn't the right option for you. So then the question becomes, if you have a grazer, what do you do? Well, there are other options out there for you. You don't necessarily have to feed a frozen raw diet. There are dehydrated raw diets that just have the same benefits of raw, but they come in a puck or a nugget form that you can rehydrate with water, or you can feed as is. They still have the same benefits of the raw, the improved digestion, skin and coat improvements. Sometimes we see reductions in allergies. There's so many benefits to raw. I could go into an entire video just to state the benefits of raw. But the cool thing with the dehydrated company is that it has more of the convenience of kibble, so you're not going to have to wash out your dishes every single time you use a raw food. But at the same time, you have to be cautious. If you're rehydrating it, you have to treat it like you would any wet food. I would leave it down for maybe half hour max, and what the cat doesn't eat at that point needs to be thrown out. If your cat's more of a grazer though, you could also do something like the Stella and Chewy's little kibbles, where you just fill their bowl up with it, and they kind of nibble on the just regular dehydrated nuggets. When it comes to feeding cats raw food, is every type of raw food safe? And the answer is no, not really. But they can be made safe for cats. The two brands that I sell in the store most frequently are Tolden Farms and Big Country Raw. Tolden Farms' botanical line is formulated for cats, and Big Country Raw has quite a few that are safe for cat use. That being said, Big Country Raw also has their Thrive Supplements line, which has a taurine supplement in it that if you use, you can have any dog formulation safe to feed to cats, because that's really what's lacking in the dog formulation is the taurine. When it comes to dehydrated raw diets, the brands that I usually recommend are stuff like Stella and Chewy's or Primal. Primal has a huge variety of different flavors for their cats, including venison, and Stella and Chewy's has been hugely popular and a lot of people know about them. Do you have to feed whole raw diet and completely come off kibble? And the answer to that is no. When I had Finn as a puppy, ideally what we did was give him a raw diet in the evening for his evening meal, and his other meals were kibble. The only thing you want to be cautious about is spreading out the amount of time between the raw and the kibble so that you don't have any issues with bacterial contamination in the gut causing salmonella or whatnot, because the raw food digests at a different rate than the kibble. I have a lot of clients who do this partial barf diet, and it works out fine for them. When it comes to giving cats raw treats like chicken necks and stuff like that, can you do it? Yeah, absolutely. Some of my clients absolutely offer their cats chicken necks and they go nuts for it. But this is all individual. Some cats will go for bones and stuff like that, and other cats absolutely won't even touch it. So it's a trial and error kind of thing when it comes to your cat. So this is the basics of feeding your cat raw. If you have any questions or concerns that don't get covered in this video, you can always leave them in the comment section below, or ask me when you see me in store, or fire me off an email. My question to you today, guys, is what kind of raw food do you feed to your pet? That's everything, guys. Keep on hopping!